of Kim Kardashian lying down in a bright blue Skims bikini celebrating her new shapewear store blocks away on Fifth Avenue. Some social media followers say it's beyond weird and sets an unrealistic representation of women's bodies. Others compliment the reality star's marketing team. Kardashian herself posted in a now expired Instagram story, "OMG, I cannot believe there's a 60-foot float of me in skim swim in Times Square." Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News, New York.
Actor Steve Carell says a charity he works with called Alice's Kids is going to pay for all the prom tickets for students at 6 high schools that were destroyed in the Southern California wildfires. I'm Steve Kathan, CBS News.
We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at wgnsradio.com. This is Rutherford Issues, hitting right at what matters most to all of us here in the heart of Tennessee. From Murfreesboro to Smyrna, Eagleville to Laverne, Leanna to Barfield, and everywhere in between. If it matters to you, you'll hear about it in the next hour here on Rutherford Issues. Now your host, Brian Barrett.
Well, hey, hi, and hello there, fun lovers and truth seekers. Welcome in to Rutherford Issues here on News Radio, WGNS, and Big G TV. Little wave for all of you watching out there. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. It's on the homepage of our website. We've got sunshine, thankfully, back. Boy, there's something about a wind that is, 30, maybe even 40 miles an hour, and the temperature's in the 40s versus like the 60s and 70s, right? I mean, man, was that a biting wind yesterday. But the winds have subsided after a cool start. For those of you watching, there's a shot right outside our studios, downtown Murfreesboro, in the iconic NHC building, and blue skies, 40 degrees. Just really, really nice day. Going to warm up a little bit. So we'll talk about your full forecast here in a couple of moments. If you were joining us for the roundtable, Dr. Jimmy Sullivan was on, the director of schools for Rutherford County, and found out something new about him. I didn't know that he was into meteorology. It was weird, the direction he was going to go. Similar story, of course, here, but I am working in the media. But anyhow, kind of interesting. Let's see. What else do we need to tell you about? Coming up on the show, we're going to head to the state capitol and find out what's going on the Hill. Lots of work being done at the state capitol. Mike Sparks will join us to kind of share with us what's going on there. And between now and then, lots of news and information. You've already gotten your CBS update. So we've got business news coming up here in just a couple of moments as well. Let's kick things off with a look at our salutes for the morning. And Amy Atkinson is today's Good Neighbor of the Day. Someone wrote in to tell us that she should be the good neighbor for being the best boss that anyone could hope for. So, Amy, apparently somebody in the office really appreciates you there. Amy Atkinson is the Good Neighbor of the Day today from Ryan Flowers, Coffee and Gifts, and your friends here at WGNS. If you would like to nominate someone like Amy to be the Good Neighbor of the Day, they'll have, the name and the reason they've been nominated announced several times during the morning, and also receive a beautiful bouquet of flowers from Ryan Flowers as being recognized as the Good Neighbor of the Day. A great pick-me-up, Just a big surprise. Nothing like being recognized for being a good neighbor. So send in your good neighbor nominations to us. Text neighbor to 615-893-1450, 615-893-1450, or head to wgnsradio.com/good neighbor. Those are the two ways that you can get in your good neighbor nominations to us here. And name, address, phone number, sentence why you want to nominate that person. That's the information we need. And if you get that to us, well, golly geez, we'll make them a good neighbor of the day coming up here in the next few days. Let's see. Birthday Club. That's something that we do each weekday as well. And it is Rita Spitzner's birthday today. Rita, happy birthday. Hope you have a wonderful day. You're the winner of the banana pudding from Slick Pig Barbecue over at 1920 East Main. I know they have barbecue in their name, but maybe it should be called Slick Pig Barbecue and Banana Pudding. What do you think? It's good. It's really good. So you'll want to check it out. Slick Pig Barbecue. We appreciate them helping us not only, I mean, we could announce birthdays, but, you know, it's nice to have a little something to give away, you know, nice little surprise. So Rena is not only going to get the banana pudding, but also have a big birthday today.
Now, here's your Rutherford weather forecast.
So let's see. In Murfreesboro, we have 40 degrees. A little bit of a wind chill. We've got a winds northwest, 7 miles an hour. You know, when we get that northwest wind this time of the year, it's going to chill off a bit. So it is 40 in Smyrna with a wind chill of 35 degrees. Nice little warm up today. And then we introduce more wind and more shower chances coming up tomorrow.
Well, Brian, it looks like skies will become mostly sunny here for this afternoon. We'll see high into the lower 50s. Winds out of the northwest around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And for tonight, increasing cloud cover with a low around 32. Friday, a slight chance for rain here late. Partial sunshine, high around 63. Then on Saturday, a slight chance for rain, cloudy, high around 58. Sunday, slight chance for rain early. Skies will become mostly sunny, high around 58 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki.
All right, Jen, thank you so much for that update. And not too bad in the weather department. I mean, our biggest chance of rain is 30%, and that's tomorrow night. Then there's another little small chance next Wednesday, but we're going to warm up. Over the weekend, we'll be in the 50s, but by Monday, 68. 74 Tuesday, 73 Wednesday. So some pretty nice temperatures coming up next week. We're going to kick off some spring sports coverage one day next week as well, right here on WGNS. So I have no clue where we're going or what we're going to do or what day just yet, but that's the plan anyway. So we like those warm days for spring sports or someplace indoors. That is a look at your forecast. It's 40 in both Murfreesboro and Smyrna with a wind chill of 34, 35 degrees. And want to remind you about Rutherford weather, rutherfordwx.com. That's where you can go to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you'll be informed on the latest weather, rutherfordwx.com. YouTube, Facebook, X, and Twitch. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications on one of those channels or all of them. It'd be great, you know, but pick your favorite where you are most of the time. And that way it'll pop up on your phone if we go live. Some content, sometimes we'll do videos leading up to impactful and significant weather events that are kind of coming up. And during severe weather, winter weather, we go live on the channel, show the radar, can track storms through the county and get expert analysis from our weatherology meteorologist and meteorologist Justin Bailey, who joins me. So check it out, rutherfordwx.com. That stands for weather, rutherfordwx.com.
Good day, Rutherford County. This is Lee Colvin, financial advisor and CFP with Edward Jones. Let's get the latest business news from our financial desk.
U.S. equity markets are opening lower today with growth segments of the market leading to the downside. Shares of semiconductor manufacturer Marvell are under pressure in early trading after the company reported better than expected earnings. However, forward guidance disappointed, highlighting the high bar of expectations for companies exposed to artificial intelligence. The underwhelming guidance from Marvel is weighing on the growth of the markets as well. The NASDAQ composite lower by nearly 2% in early trading. NASDAQ is off 223 points at 18,329 right now. The S&P is down 52 at 5790. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is off 194 at 42,812.
From Wall Street to Church Street, that's the latest business news from the Edward Jones Financial Desk. I'm financial advisor and CFP Lee Colvin. Call 615-907-7056 or stop by our office on South Rutherford Boulevard in the Public Shopping Center.
Rutherford Issues on News Radio WGNS.
Rutherford Issues is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. Take charge of your account and energy usage with the MyMTE app. Download in the App Store to manage your account, enhance your energy habits. That's MTE, serving to make life better since 1936. We've got a check of sports coming up, national sports, Access Tennessee sports. And then tell you what we've got coming up in local sports today. It's a pretty big day. Going to have two events going on at the same time and on the air, at least, and a third one right here in town. So we'll tell you all about that coming up in sports in just a couple of moments. This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day. For more than 30 years, my team and I have worked hard to help injured people throughout Middle Tennessee. Over that time, we've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they've needed it the most. And if we're not able to help or aren't the right lawyer for you, we'll do the best to point you in the right direction. If you've been injured, call the law offices of John Day for a free consultation. And remember, there's no fee unless we win your case.
For 20 years, Jeff's family-friendly restaurant has been the place where comfort food meets great company.
Food is great. Just gave me too much.
They season it well and give you enough that you don't have to worry about going away hungry.
Jeff's is open every day except Tuesday from 11 to 6 and Sundays 11 to 5. You can find them at 467 South Hancock Street just off MLK Boulevard.
I love it. The friendly hometown service. The food's great.
Come taste tradition at Jeff's family-friendly restaurant.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Monsi Bolaños.
James Harden took over for the Clippers.
Switched on by Beasley. 4 to shoot. A three ball is up. Night one! James Harden ties his season high. 43. The Beard serves buckets tonight and into its own.
AM 570 LA Sports Clippers Radio Network. They defeat the Pistons 123-115. Harden ended with 50 points. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander dropped 41 points as the Thunder topped the Grizzlies 120-103. The Nuggets came back to beat the Kings 116-110. And Giannis Antetokounmpo had 32 points and 15 rebounds as the Bucks outscored the Mavericks 137-107. Antetokounmpo became the sixth youngest player to reach 20,000 career points. The Cavaliers have won 12 in a row. They also clinched a playoff spot after topping the Heat 112-107. And in men's college hoops, Ole Miss topped number 4 Tennessee 78-76.
In today's changing world, you need a financial planner that you're comfortable with. Rely on the bonds that you've built with trusted friends at Old National Bank on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard here in the borough. And if you just moved here, visit us and enjoy warm, homemade cookies.
Honey, the cookies are ready.
Like Grandma used to make. Old National Bank. We're better together.
2230 Dr. MLK Jr. Boulevard. Old National Bank. Member FDIC.
Access Tennessee Sports. I'm Josh Copley. The Tennessee Lady Volunteers would have a dominant performance in the first round of the SEC tournament yesterday as they defeated Texas A&M by 40 points in a 77-37 final. Talasia Cooper would lead the team in scoring with 19 points, but the story of the game would be the masterful defense played by Tennessee. The Lady Vols are set to face Vanderbilt today in round 2. It was not so pleasant of a night for the Tennessee men's basketball team. The number 4 Vols would lose a heartbreaker in an SEC matchup against Ole Miss 76-78. Jordan Gainey led in scoring with 17 points, and Zakiah Ziegler would match his career high in assists with 15 in the defeat. The Memphis Grizzlies dropped their 4th game in a row last night as they would be beaten by one of the best teams in the league, the Oklahoma City Thunder, 103-120. Ja Morant would lead the team in scoring with 24 points, but it would not be enough as Memphis sits at 4th in the Western Conference. I'm Josh Copley with Access Tennessee Sports.
SRM Concrete. With every new day, every sunrise, we build structures that stand the test of time. And upon their foundations are our homes, where we work, where our kids go to school. And with that comes tremendous pride. We don't just make concrete. We build relationships, trust, confidence. We're SRM Concrete. Build with us.
This is News Radio WGNS, Prime Time Sports.
Sponsored by the law offices of John Day. Our expanded office location is on Medical Center Parkway, just across the street from the hospital. If you've been injured, call us for a free consultation at 867-9900.
All right, well, a lot of sports coming up here in the next few days. Tonight on radio, it's the Lady Raiders at Liberty. Coverage begins at 5:30 with a 6 o'clock tip. Joe Fisher is out there to bring you the game from Liberty. That'll be tonight. The Raider men are at home, and their tip-off is at 6:30, so it'll be simultaneous. So we'll have the women's game for you. But here's an idea. If you're not going to Lebanon for the high school game tonight, maybe head over to see the Middle Tennessee men take on Liberty. They've got a big game at home tonight. They're trying to fill up the Murphy Center and a chance to be the regular season champions here for Middle Tennessee with some wins this week in the remaining 2 games. So speaking of high school, on wgnsradio.com, on all of our audio streaming platforms and the audio on our Big G TV platforms as well, will be the Region Tournament Championship game. That'll be tonight. It'll be from Lebanon as the Laverne Wolverines take on the Siegel Stars. So be sure to tune in here on wgnsradio.com and on our Big G TV platforms for the audio of the broadcast coming up tonight. Saturday morning, the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner hits the airwaves at 9 o'clock. And MTCS Cougar Corner around 11:15 or so. And we'll have then Lady Raider basketball at FIU beginning at 11:30. The men's game will follow in progress. And that's what we've got for you coming up. Now, next week, boys sectional tournament on Monday. Then hopefully somebody in Boys State the following week. We're going to have some high school sports for you as well. Kind of waiting on what the CUSA tournament schedule is going to be for the middle men and women. So we should know that this weekend. They play next week as well. And in town next week will be a lot of girls basketball fans. So got that coming up for you here as well. That's a look at the latest local sports. WGNSsports.com for all the latest. Access Tennessee news straight ahead.
Are you looking to buy or sell real estate? I'm Betsy Maples with Maples Realty and Auction, and we've been selling property in Middle Tennessee since 1969. Whether it be traditional listings, sales, or auctions, let us visit your property and help you decide what method is best for your situation. Call Maples Realty and Auction today, because it's our people that's the difference.
Maples Realty and Auction.
Sold Maples Realty and Auction.
Fellas, if you've noticed a lack of energy, motivation, and drive, it could be low testosterone. Don't wait. Get checked by the experts at Low T Center. They have over a decade of experience helping patients achieve life-changing results with testosterone therapy, or TRT. And for established patients, they offer the convenience of physician-monitored at-home TRT with advanced personalized plans that include both lab testing and self-inject medication. Low T Center makes it easy, shipping directly to your door. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment online. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
Access Tennessee News, I'm Will Nunley. The Tennessee Attorney General is sounding the alarm about the Chinese AI program DeepSeek. The Tennessee state government has banned the use of DeepSeek on state phones and computers. The office says any private citizen thinking of using the software needs to make sure they understand the ramifications for their privacy and their security. The Attorney General's office urges consumers to exercise caution and consider the risks when deciding whether to use DeepSeek instead of alternative AI products based in a non-communist country. At least 2 structures have been destroyed in Sevier County following wildfires over the past 48 hours. The Sevier County Emergency Management Agency says that all of the evacuation orders were lifted Wednesday. Sevier County emergency personnel responded to a brush fire Tuesday off of Bluff Mountain Road. Firefighters also responded to a 200-acre fire in the area of Pittman Center. The firefight continues in several areas, but officials believe the fires are under control. More news in 30 seconds.
Ascension St. Thomas Heart is the leader in Middle Tennessee for heart care, providing the most advanced options, including heart surgery and transplants. Our nationally recognized cardiac team cares for more adult hearts than anyone in the state, from AFib to heart failure, using minimally invasive options when possible to help shorten recovery, making Ascension St. Thomas Heart your first choice for routine heart care and cardiac emergencies. Schedule a heart screening or find a cardiologist at ascension.org/St. Thomas Heart.
The Nashville Department of Transportation says they're busy tackling potholes now that the winter weather has taken a break. INDOT says they've repaired more than 6,700 potholes since January 1st, and they currently have 4 repair crews out working at least 5 days a week. The department does have inspectors out searching for problem areas, but they welcome your help. Call the department if you see a Davidson County road that needs repair. Will Dudley, Access Tennessee News.
At Turner Security, we bring cutting-edge protection with live video monitoring, access control entry, advanced camera systems, and intermedia IP phones, all designed to keep your business safe and connected. From small businesses to large enterprises, our expert team ensures seamless integration and around-the-clock monitoring, because security isn't just a service, it's our mission. Turner Security, powered by TechCore.
Rutherford Issues with Brian Barrett on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
Rutherford Issues is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric and through their Sharing Change program. It funds their charitable foundation funds all kinds of nonprofits here in the area, hundreds of nonprofits. So if you round up your electric bill to the nearest dollar each month, you can support those nonprofits through Sharing Change. Find out more at sharingchange.org. We're headed to the state capitol, and our 2 state representatives in North Rutherford County going to join us today. Mike Sparks will lead us off here real quick, and then to Robert Stevens. Pretty busy up there?
Yeah, it has been, and I heard you talking about Operation Roundup. Man, that's a good thing. I think the most you're going to pay is what, $11 a year, $11.99 or something. But anyway, it's a good program. Yeah, we had a short session and not too much controversy. But I wanted to put Representative Stevens on the line. He had an Eagleville baseball team and the coaches up, and he's got to get back to meet with some clients here in just a few minutes. I'm going to turn the mic here in the office over to Representative Stevens, Brian.
Sounds good. All right, Mike. Robert, good to talk to you today.
Hey, Brian, thanks for having me on there. We were very honored this morning to have Eagleville High School's baseball team come up and join us on the House floor. And as you probably know, they won the state championship in 2022. They won the state championship again in 2023. And then, of course, they won it again in 2024. So one of the coaches told me that there's only been a few teams that have won 3 times back-to-back. So we thought that was definitely worth honoring, and we were glad to have them come up there and get recognized on the House floor today in front of all of Tennessee so they could see all the good things going on down in Eagleville.
Yeah, it was really interesting. 2022, that year, their softball and baseball team won, and in the, I don't know, maybe 100 years of the school's history, they won their first state championships in 2022, softball on one day and baseball the next. So they've had a tremendous run. So I know Coach Bassham was probably very honored to be there today with you on the Hill. And you've had some legislation rolling through there too, right?
Yes, we have, and Coach Bassham and Mr. Pettigo at the school and the assistant coaches, Marty McClary and Todd Williams, everybody was here today and had a big time at the Capitol. They got to go see a tour of the House of Representatives chambers and some of the other places in the Capitol before we recognized them there, so I think everybody had a big time and hopefully learned something there. I have a bill that's starting to move, and it's about revenue sharing. there's about 20 different taxes where the state collects money for these various things, liquor taxes, gas taxes, sales taxes, and a percent of that gets sent back to counties and cities based on the population. And the way that's refigured now is every 10 years when the census is done, they'll look and see what percent of the population you have every 10 years. So the fast-growing places like Rutherford County, Williamson County, Wilson County, Davidson County that are adding people in droves, they don't get that readjusted until 10 years unless they do a special census. And as you know, Murfreesboro is starting a special census. Smyrna's in the middle of one. Laverne tried one recently, and I think they pulled the plug on it. But if you can show that you have more people with a special census, then you get more of that state-shared revenue. What my bill does is it takes data that we already have at the UT Boyd Center, and that data pretty much is an estimate of each county and city population, and they can send that to the State Department of Revenue each year and redistribute that money on an annual basis based on your population instead of waiting the 10 years. So the places that are fast-growing, if it gets reapportioned annually instead of every 10 years, those fast-growing places are going to bring in a lot more money.
Yeah.
And so I think it's going to be millions and millions of dollars for Rutherford County and the cities.
Sure thing. Does that mean that if you use the data from the Boyd Center, you wouldn't necessarily have to do a special census in that 10-year period, or is that including the special census that comes through?
Now, you would not have to do one. They would certify that it would be a population estimate. That's not the exact amount since it's not a census.
Right.
And, of course, if you challenge it and don't believe that that's an accurate number, then you can do a special census if you want to. But these things cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they take all kinds of manpower to go door to door with the fire department, police department, and it's just very tedious to do, and it takes a long time. So this would automatically readjust that each year, and you would not have to do anything unless you believe the number is wrong, and then you could try to do a special census if you wanted to dispute it. But I think most of the fast-growing places are going to be very happy that they don't have to spend that money and the effort, and that they will get additional funds.
Yeah, it would be a game changer, I would think, for like Rutherford County, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, with the growth that we've experienced. And, the last census was 2020, and we know what was going on during that time. And, there was probably a huge undercount in Rutherford County.
That's possible. And, if you have to wait until the next census in 2030, then we're just falling farther and farther behind with what we should be getting. So I am very excited about this. It came back with what's called a fiscal note on it, which means it has a cost to implement it. I think I found a workaround for that so that we can pay for it. But this would bring in additional revenue without anybody's taxes going up. It takes the existing taxes that are coming in and just reallocates them annually based on the population change.
Yeah. Right now, with the city of Murfreesboro, they're saying it's like $175 around that per person that it means coming in from the state to help pay for, city services and roads and all of that. So, I mean, these local governments really rely on that. So I'm sure that you've got a lot of support for that bill.
Well, we're spreading the word. Other communities are finding out about it. Other representatives and senators, I think, are going to sign on in the next week or two to show their support of it. But this is going to be very, very beneficial for Rutherford County and our cities if we can get it across the finish line.
Well, keep us updated on that, okay?
Will do. Thanks for having me today. I have got to get back to my law office and visit with some clients, so I appreciate you having me. I'm going to turn the phone back over to Representative Sparks here.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks.
That's State Representative Robert Stevens joining us here as well with Mike Sparks. And, boy, that legislation right there, Mike, revenue sharing bill could be a game changer. I know the city of Murfreesboro is in the middle of conducting their special census in Smyrna, and I was talking actually with someone about the Murfreesboro census yesterday, and I think Franklin was in the middle of one, and they had to really just abandon what they were doing because it was so hard to get that information,
Yes, it really is. And that's the thing about our county. Or even the state. We're all in this together. These issues really aren't Republican, Democrat, and everybody wants better schools, better roads. They want these potholes filled. They want to do something about the landfill, and folks really have to work together. And Robert will have an idea, Tim will have an idea, Representative Rudd, and Dr. Terry, Charlie Baum, myself, Mayor Carr, or maybe it's Craig Harris, Pettis Reed. and others to just try to see what we can do to improve the quality of life for Rutherford County with the challenges. I mean, we're one of the most challenged counties in the state, if not the nation, with, we're the fastest growing county in the state. And it's really totally unsustainable. Like I told the comptroller and I told the finance committee the other day, with the challenges that we face with trying to build schools. I have a task force study that I hope I can get past to just look at what can we do to relieve some of the overcrowding. Can we do more dual enrollment? Can we encourage kids to skip their senior year like my oldest boy did? If we can just find 1% to 2% of a relief valve, maybe the charter schools, maybe it's some people may want to homeschool. Because the challenges, they are enormous. I applaud Representative Stevens for his creativeness to try to help Rutherford County.
Well, State Representative Mike Sparks joining here, and what do you have going on? That's the way to say it.
My music therapy task force, they were up the other day. We honored Priscilla Presley, and I got to meet with her last year. And music is a powerful tool for mental health. If folks have ever had parents that were dealing with Parkinson's or dementia, they know it's real. The Smyrna librarian was in yesterday, Cassandra Watkins. I thought she was going to do the show with me this morning, but she couldn't make it. She said she'll come up on the 20th. No, yesterday in finance, I'm a big fan of what Elon Musk is doing, what Donald Trump is doing, uncovering waste, fraud, and abuse. Just yesterday, and folks could watch this if they wanted to pull up Tennessee General Assembly Finance Committee meeting yesterday. The Department of Children's Services, or the Department of Human Services, rather, they're really doing great work. And I asked them, I said, you're really doing God's work. I mean, they're helping Nourish Food Bank. They're helping end slavery. They're helping Tim Tebow's event. They're helping so many other areas in our state to help the least fortunate. They also work the SNAP program, the benefits program, where they were talking about $155 million worth of, I guess it's called skimming on these cards, these benefit cards, where people would go to use it and then they go back and use it and all their money is wiped out. And that's happening in our state of Tennessee. I talked to Channel 5 reporter Chris Davis, and Chris does a great job. I said, are y'all going to really look at this stuff? And that's money, that's taxpayer money. $155 million taxpayer dollars were ripped off. I just signed on to Jason Zachary's bill where he's got a piece of legislation trying to stop some of those benefits from buying like candy and cold drinks. And that may not mean much to some people, but it is a savings. It is trying to encourage people to eat healthy and trying to learn to do more with less. I mean, I'm seeing our budget continue to grow. TDOC Commissioner Strada is going to be in here in about, I think, an hour, and then at 1:30 I'm meeting with mental health folks, Ella Britt over there at Volunteer Behavior. I think Sarah Murphy may be there, and several others. We've been working on putting this meeting together regarding the seriousness of mental health, what we're seeing, and not just young people. We're seeing it all over. We've had a few members up here. Two members have had fathers that have committed suicide. Had another member, his brother committed suicide. And the areas, Brian, of mental health, sadly, they're at an all-time high. And, again, it's not a Democrat issue, not a Republican issue. My Amazing Grace piece of legislation the past couple of years ago, we had that famous bass guitarist. I think is it Wooten? I don't really follow that much, but he came up here, and the cool thing about it, he played Amazing Grace with his bass guitar. And so music, just being able to work together, I see so much disconnect and chaos in government. It's at an all-time high, I can promise you. So Friday morning, if folks want to know more about what the General Assembly is doing, we'll be at the Chamber of Commerce from 7:30 to 9 over there at Medical Center Parkway Friday morning. So folks are welcome to join us.
So is it a chance for the public to ask questions and stuff?
Yeah. And here's what I was saying at the last meeting, which was 3 weeks ago. It's the first Friday of every month. That's the only time that we really come together as a delegation and with people, just to pull people together. And I called out a few names, people I have a lot of respect for. Darren Gore, the city manager of Murfreesboro, smart guy. His father is a former professor and a close friend of mine. One of the guys that encouraged me to run for office. Dr. David Urban, Dean Emeritus with the Jennings Jones College of Business, was in the audience. I said, let's bring these people together from different backgrounds. Maybe it's a former engineer. Maybe it's a former school principal. And look at the challenges our county is facing. We can't continue to do this. We can't continue to do the same old things with the tools that we've been using, because we're going to continue to get the same old results we've always gotten. And that was Einstein that said that was the definition of insanity. So I just want to encourage, whether it's the chamber, to get more involved in our county issues, school board issues. I know we have elected officials, but elected officials, we don't have all the answers. We don't have all the answers.
Well, you say you do.
Well, we want to think we do sometimes. But like, I remember my oldest boy, who is pretty brilliant. He's skipped a grade, class president, MTSU, and Vanderbilt graduate. And he was critical of me one day, years ago. He said, Dad, your problem is you'll ask 15 people before you make a decision. I said, son, where do you think I get these ideas at? I get them from people. And you'd be surprised some of the ideas you get. It may be the guy working at McDonald's. It may be the construction worker or the truck driver having to drive I-24 like we do, which is the worst corridor, from my understanding, in our state. In fact, if anybody wants a mattress, there's 3 mattresses along I-24. But, that's how we come together and get ideas. And I just see a lot of brokenness, man. I mean, I've seen it at the State of the Nation address, not to try to be critical of the opposing party, but let's support our president. Let's pray for our president. Let's pray for peace in Russia, Ukraine. Who wants a third world war? Look at all the men they've lost over there and devastation. But we as a nation need to come together and start solving problems.
Mike, the Dr. Jimmy Sullivan was on the roundtable with Dr. Krause this morning, and in the next 5 years, we're going to get close to about 60,000 kids in the school system, and just with the tremendous growth that's going on and the need to build more schools and that kind of thing, where does that money continue to come from for things like that locally?
Exactly. I mean, it's like I said at budget the other day. I'm seeing DCS another $200 and something million. We've handed out big raises, and we still have vacancies. TDOC, the commissioner, will be in today, and I went through their academy, went through TBI's academy, went through the sheriff's academy to try to learn more about the challenges that they face. I mean, Leadership Rutherford was up yesterday, which I think is a great program. Got to speak to them for a little bit, but there's going to be a time the money's not going to be there. I mean, our nation's $35 trillion in debt. So I applaud. It's like this $155 million where I told Chris Davis, that's the power of the media to start digging down and saying, how can we do more with less? I've wrote 3 books. That's my latest book. It's called How to Do More with Less. And I had a Democrat up here. Bob Freeman bought 3 cases of my books, read all 3 of my books, and gave them to members. And I think the reason he done that is because I invited the speaker to his mental health event a couple of weeks ago, and he was really surprised that the speaker came. And we had several other members there. But we all should care about mental health. The challenges are enormous. And, I've got my 2 new grandbabies, Grace and Henry David, that I want both of them to go to Thurman Francis. That's my goal, where my son went, where I went, where my wife went. And that's a great school, one of the top schools in the nation, and or the state, but how do we continue? So looking for waste, fraud and abuse should be a top priority for all of us. That's not a Democrat or Republican issue, So Dr. Sullivan, I think the world of him. I texted him the other day. I had my bill up, my school bus bill, which I'm really undoing the chairman's bill. It was his bill. I got it out of committee. Department of Safety is working against me. But I'm working it to where I can try to get a few more votes. I'm going to take it to 23, the age requirement. We're the most restrictive in the nation and in the world. We're the only state that requires you to be 25 years of age to drive a school bus. And what the Department of Safety doesn't tell people, the guy that was driving that bus that killed those 6 kids in Chattanooga, even though it was so horrific, that dude's also a child molester, raped a 14-year-old girl 2 years later. The department didn't even know about that. So trying to get that bill out. Dr. Sullivan's support of David Settles, Murfreesboro School Board, came up. He testified last week, but we moved it to next week because of my amendment. But if you're 21, you work for the school system, or you're in the National Guard, under my legislation, you can drive. So that's a small tool in the toolbox to be able to fill the void of the shortage of school bus drivers. But we need to do more,
Yeah.
But I think the world, Dr. Sullivan, great guy, great communicator. So is Dr. K. Martin as well.
All right, Mike, appreciate it. State Representative Mike Sparks joining today.
Looking for great deals? At Turner Security, we bring cutting-edge protection with live video monitoring, access control entry, advanced camera systems, and intermedia IP phones, all designed to keep your business safe and connected. From small businesses to large enterprises, our expert team ensures seamless integration and around-the-clock monitoring, because security isn't just a service, it's our mission. Turner Security, powered by TechCore.